Hi y'all, Rene here. I thought I would jump on real quick and show you, my original thought was to show you the Stitch Quarterly that I just got in the mail today. But then I also thought I'd show you a few other things that my husband actually gave me a shopping spree at Fat Quarter Shop for Christmas. So I took advantage of that on Black Friday when they had a really great sale that weekend. So first I'll show you the Santa Baby Stitch Quarterly, and then I'll give you a quick look at the other items that I picked up. So I haven't opened it yet. So let's see. Oh, cute ribbon. Love that ribbon. I can find a use for that ribbon, so I'll put that aside. And let's see what we get. Now, if you haven't heard of the Stitch Quarterly before, it's something new that Fat Quarter Shop started a few months ago. And you get an exclusive pattern. You usually get everything you need. Pattern, fabric, the floss. You get the needle, needle holder. So let me see, this should be the needle. Yep, there's the needle with a little magnet and a cute little tin that matches the whole theme. Oh, and you get the canvas bag to keep it in. And then there's usually one little extra. So it looks like this time is floss bitties. They're little holders for you to put your floss on. Now, I don't use these. I'll show you in a minute what I do use, and I've used for decades, and I absolutely love it. So I won't be using these. Maybe I'll find a Stitchy friend to give them to. It comes with all of the DMC floss that you need. So it looks like 3 whites, and otherwise it looks pretty simple. There's not a lot of color change. So let's look and see. Oh, the fabric looks really amazing. The fabric looks really fun. The fabric is a minty green opalescent 14 count Aida by Zweigart, 12 by 14. This looks really cool. Can you see the sparkle? Actually, let me take it out of here, and maybe that'll help to see. I don't know if you can pick up the sparkle. My lights don't really do it justice. This is really beautiful. It's a stiff Aida, and I actually do like stitching on Aida more than anything else. So let's see. Let me make sure I'm not showing you any coupon codes. So it's a cross stitch pattern. Here is the little Santa right here that we make, and I'm guessing that this was Priscilla-fied because that looks a lot like her type of finishing. And the finished size is 6.5 by 6.5, so it's pretty small. That's not bad. Yep, finished by Priscilla Blaine of the Real Housewives. So yeah, it looks pretty simple. Let me look at the actual pattern. There's a lot of white, a lot of white. Sometimes white can be a bear to get it to look nice. So I'm hoping that the colors that they included was blank. I have noticed that there's another DMC color, and I can't think of it off the top of my head, that's way higher up in the numbers, like B1300. If I got it wrong, I'll put it across the bottom of the screen. I really like using I think it's B1300 a lot, because I think I get a better coverage, which I don't understand why, since it's DMC, it's the same thread, just a slightly different color. But this should be really fun. So that is the Stitch Quarterly for December. And again, it's a quarterly, so I know it says December, but it's really for I guess you would call it the 4th quarter. So one of the things that I picked up, I'm going to start with the fabric. I picked up a 1 yard by 43 inch piece of Rustico 18 count oatmeal Aida. I think this color will work really well for most of the patterns that I picked out. And it's a pretty large piece, so I should be able to use it for all of the things that I want to work on. So we got that. The first pattern I'll show you, and yes, I'm very fancy. I use Ziploc. I've already kitted up all of my items. So I got America, or Land That I Love by Country Cottage Needleworks. I have seen several people do this. So I got this, and I also got the fancy floss pack from that Priscilla Blaine picked out. So we've got some colors that are changing, and I went ahead and wrote down what colors are changing. So instead of the light brown, she picked out Stepping Stones. So that's there. Sticks and Twigs instead of Beaver Gray. Perfect Pie Crust instead of Peach. Instead of Mocha Brown, Sticks and Twigs again, using the same color. Bamboo instead of white. And then for Blueberry Tart, she substituted Rain Shower. For Ladybug, she substituted Licorice Red. For Blue Beatrice, substitution is Blue Corn. And for Bean Sprout, the substitution is Steamed Broccoli. Now, the reason I went ahead and went with her substitutions is sometimes Fancy Floss can be a little hard to find because of all the virus issues. There's been a shortage of embroidery floss, and these companies that do the hand-dyed threads need embroidery floss just to start with. So that is Lamb That I Love by Country Cottage Needleworks, and this one I will be, every one of these except for one, I'm going to be doing on that what is it called? Rustico oatmeal. So there is that one. Then the next one that I kitted up already is Mayflower Landing. And the reason I wanted to do this one is my husband is actually a direct descendant of a Mayflower passenger. So that was really cool. And then just recently I found out that I could get the number wrong, like my 11th uncle was also on the Mayflower. He unfortunately was one of the people that died that very first winter, but he and his wife both died. But they actually had a son who, there are many direct descendants from him to this day. So that's really neat. His brother is my direct descendant, and he came over to America shortly after the Mayflower landed. So he wasn't on the actual Mayflower, but he came shortly after. So I thought it would be really neat to have something in the house that showed homage to these folks that in our family that did something that I think takes such amazing courage. I'm not sure I would have that kind of courage. So it just really touches my heart to know that there are people in our family that both had that kind of courage. So, but this is what it looks like, and it's by Little House Needleworks. I'm really excited to do it, and I love how they spelled Plymouth the original way, which is Plimoth. So I thought that this would be awesome. I am using the called for colors. Now, there's some colors I wasn't able to get, so I'm going to take a look at some other colors that I have here in this little ring, and I'll show you that, that might work for some of these others. But I wanted to get a better feel for it, so I went ahead and grabbed the colors that I could that went with it. Yield Gold, Clay Pot, Wild Berries, Roasted Chestnut, Pea Pod, and it says it needs 2 pea pods, so I have 2 of those. And it says it needs 2 roasted chestnuts, so I have 2 of those. And then Barrel Cactus. So there's some other colors that I do not have. I'm going to see once I look at the pattern a little more. They do give you a DMC equivalent. So I will look and see if it's just a small little area, I'm not going to bother trying to find either a Fancy Floss or a Fancy Floss substitute. I'll just use the DMC, which I have all the DMCs. So, oh, and that's what I was going to tell you. I use these little bags, and these little bags are actually the Hobby Lobby brand, and I love them. I have used them, like I said, for decades. I've used this method of storing my floss. I like it this way for DMC and for Fancy Floss. Really for anything. I just find it keeps everything contained. I can keep all my little pieces because I like to play, floss roulette, see if I'm going to make it. And so for For the DMCs, it has a white area, and you can just write with a pen. You write the number. For the fancy floss, I just keep them turned over this other direction so I can just see the name right through the plastic. So that is Mayflower Landing by Little House Needleworks. And again, I'm going to use that Rustico oatmeal fabric. So there's that one. The next one that I got to pick out is, this is called Brave Hearts. This is also by Little House Needlework. And I just love this. We are a very patriotic family. My husband is a retired veteran of the Air Force. My father is Marine. My stepfather was Air Force. So quite a bit of military history in my background. I am also a direct descendant of a Revolutionary War patriot. So there's, quite a bit of family that did military service. So for this one, the only one that I substituted was I couldn't find brown sugar, so I decided to substitute with cocoa bean. I think it'll work. I'll know more once I get going, and I'll show you my how I'm doing on my stitching. Hopefully I can get to these. I'm working on a project right now that's sort of a surprise, so I can't really show it, but hopefully I'll be able to use some of these others. But we've got cocoa bean. It's said to use either wild berries or Manny Red. I have wild berries as well for that other pattern that I showed you. I did pull the Manny Red out to put in this kit, but once I get going, I'll take a closer look and see, do I want to go with Manny Red or do I want to go with wild berries? It also uses bamboo. Wavy Navy, that's one, I just love the name of it, and I love the variegation on Wavy Navy. I just adore that. And then Desert Mesquite, which I've never seen before. So again, it's got a great variegation in the colors. So there is that one. Again, Brave Hearts by Little House Needleworks. And let's see. And again, that's also another one that'll use that Rustico oatmeal fabric. Now, some of these do call for linen or some other type of fabric. I prefer to work with even weave. I just find it easier on my eyes. I feel like my stitches turn out better, and I'm more pleased with my outcome. I'm not very good at going over 2. That's why I like to use Ada, and I like to use the size of Ada that will allow me just to stitch over 1. So Bless Our Home is the next one I got. It's by Cottage Needleworks. And isn't it just adorable? I love the little dog. I might change that out and put a chicken instead. I do have a dog. He's a little white dog. So if I do the dog, I'll probably change it to white. And then I have 5 chickens. You may have heard me talk about them before. So I may change that out. I'm just not sure right now. We'll see. We'll see how it comes along. So for this one, I am using all of the called for colors. So I've got Peanut Brittle, Poblano Pepper, Clay Pot, and Blue Moon. And then it also calls for some DMC. So I will grab the DMC out of my buckets. And for my floss, the way I keep track of these is I use plastic shoe boxes. My DMC is just numerical. And my fancy floss, right now I'm keeping it on a ring, but as I get more, I'll probably move it into a shoebox and just keep it alphabetical. I think that'll just be the easiest way. And I'm just going to mingle companies because I think right now I've got Classic Colorworks, and I've also got, there's another brand that I have here. I'll probably come across it and show it to you. But it really doesn't matter to me keeping the different companies separated. I'll just do them alphabetically. And that's actually how I have them on this ring, is alphabetically. So the next one I got was by Wax and Moon Designs. It's called the Patriotic House Trio. And I think this one has Gentle Arts threads. Nope, Classic Colorworks. It is Classic Colorworks. So this is a trio of 3 different ones: America, Freedom, and Liberty. And so on this one, I need blue corn, but right now it's in the Land That I Love bag. So I put a little note here so that I would know that when I needed it to go get it from the Land That I Love bag. Okay, so this one did call for gentle art threads. Sometimes those can be a little hard to find, so I've kind of made some different selections based on what I could get. So, as far as call for colors, I am using Evergreen by the Gentle Art. And then I am also using Raspberry Parfait by Gentle Art. Then instead of Gold Leaf by Gentle Art, I'm using Toffee by Classic Colorworks. And where is Toffee? I may not have it in here. That might be one that I need. Yep, that's one that I still need. I wasn't able to find it, but I think it'll probably be the best match. And then I am using maple syrup. Here's maple syrup. I love the names of these threads. Instead of soot, I couldn't find soot. I'm going to see if cauldron will work. Cauldron, I think, might be a little more blue than what soot is. So we'll see if this works. If not, I will grab a different color, more of a blackish, more so than a bluish. Then oatmeal from the Gentle Art. Then instead of mulberry, I couldn't find mulberry, so I decided to do campfire, and hopefully that'll work. And then there are some Gentle Art Simply Shaker threads. So for freedom, I couldn't find freedom, so I'm going to do blue corn, and that's why I have this little sticky on here so I know to grab it when I go to use it. Then dungarees, don't you just love the name of that thread? Instead of cucumber, I am going to use spinach. Instead of grape leaf, I'm going to use chopped chives. And then I still need toffee. The other thing I did is I looked at, okay, where do I use gold leaf and where do I use toffee? Are they touching each other? Will it work if you use the same color in both places? And it appears that it will. Now, worst case scenario is I don't like it and I rip out the stitches. It's not the end of the world. It's, you know, simple to do. It's not a difficult thing. And then we'll just go from there. So. And the very last item that I was able to pick up in my wonderful husband's shopping spree is Country Cottage Needleworks Away We Go. Is this what it's called? It doesn't really have a name. It just has 142 as the number on the chart. But ho, 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 and away we go. I thought that was so adorable. Look at the little Santa with all the reindeer. I just love it. So for this one, I don't have any notes on there, so I must be doing the call for colors. The other thing I did is I picked up, it calls for linen. And so instead what I picked up, and I already took it out of the packaging, I'm so sorry. It is I believe it is a 14, let me look. No, I think this is a 14 or an 18 count Aida. And it is the Blackboard, and I believe it's by Wichelt. I could be wrong on that, but all of the Blackboard fabrics, I think they're just beautiful. I also have some patterns that I'm working on black, and they're kind of difficult. One of the things that I have heard that you should do is get a light board and keep it underneath on your lap, and then work on top of the light board so the light comes up and you can see easier. Or if you don't have a light board, put like a white pillow or a white towel or something so that you have white reflecting the light back up. So we'll see though, because this isn't as dark as black. This is called Blackboard. So we'll see if that's a good solution. I've never stitched on Blackboard before. Then for my colors, I've got a couple of 4-leaf clovers. It calls for 2 4-leaf clovers. Ladybug. I love the name of that color. And isn't it just beautiful? I love that color. Now, is it going to focus? There it goes. Look at that variegation. Oh, it's going to be so pretty. And then 2 snowballs. So there's the snowball. It calls for a peanut brittle. Again, love the name. And brandied pears. So for this one, I am using the call for colors. It also uses 3 colors of DMC. So I will need to grab those when it's time to stitch this one. So I do have a lot of projects. Yes, I do. And I am hoping that I can start carving out a little more time for myself for my stitching. I really enjoy stitching. It's very relaxing. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to do more of that. So what I have here, this is how I was talking about on my ring. And I keep this ring here to indicate where's the beginning of the alphabet for me. So, so on this one, I've got, this is bamboo. Black coffee, that's another one I might look at for that soot replacement. However, this has got a lot of brown in it, so I don't know if that would be the right color either. Blushing Beauty, another campfire, another cocoa bean, Dublin Bay, isn't that beautiful? Eggshell, Eve's Leaves, I got 2 of those. Another 4-leaf clover, Hayride, isn't that gorgeous? I love those colors. And I got 2 of those. A couple of honeycomb. Oh, 3 honeycombs. Another ladybug. Lettuce leaf. Lighthouse. A couple of those. Pine needles. 2 of those. Rain shower. Raspberry parfait. A couple rose petal. Another stepping stone. You can use stepping stone a lot, I think. Oh, and there's the toffee. I need to pull that off and put that in that other package, because we're going to be using that. So the way I got a lot of these colors, I haven't really been a user of Fancy Floss really all that much. I have one pattern I've been working on for several years that has some type. It's called Water Lilies. It's by Karen. So I guess I have used Fancy Floss before, but I really like to get into using it a lot more. So they had, Fat Quarter Shop had that great sale. I think it was like 20% off everything. And they had some floss packs that had several different pre-selected flosses, like Priscilla and Chelsea's favorites, things like that. And so I just went ahead and picked up a few of those to start building my stash. So I thought this would be really fun to have these available, and then when I start working on different projects, you know, if it has a DMC color that's similar and it's a larger area, maybe I want to use one of these that has that variegation in it to get some really interesting texture going on. So that is it for my share, haul, whatever you call it today. If you have any questions about anything that I showed you, please just let me know down in the comments. I will be more than happy to get back to you. None of this was given to me. All of it was bought and paid for, so I don't make anything off of you going and finding these. But I have found that Fat Quarter Shop has a really good selection. Their customer service has been great, and usually the shipping is really fast and things come very quickly. I don't know if you've noticed recently that shipping is just kind of hideous and things take forever. My poor husband has had a package floating around our town for about 10 days now, and the post office just keeps saying that it's in transit, but it shows that it's here. So we're not quite sure where it is. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. And again, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, please hit subscribe. That helps me out a whole bunch and doesn't cost you anything. And I hope you all have a great day. And thanks for stopping by. Take care.